Hi, boys and girls. We are ready for English today on Thursday. We are doing our sentence chapter. We are ready for page 283, and this is going to be on subjects. Remember, we've been splitting our sentences into subject parts and predicate parts. Yesterday, we looked for just the action word and splitting the sentence. Today, so the last few days we've been working on the predicate part. Today, we're going to look back at that subject part. Now, the subject part is the whole thing of who or what is doing something. Today, we're going to find just the subject. The subject is the main word or words in the subject part. A noun or a pronoun can be the subject. So we're looking for not the whole part, just the subject. Okay, so let's do an example just so we can get our mind around this. Okay, let's look at the first one. A dog jumps into a pool. I love thinking about being in a pool. I love to swim. But this time the dog gets in. A dog jumps into the pool, into a pool. Where are we going to split that? We first look for which word? The verb. Good job. So, jumps is what we can do. We can act that out so we know that's the verb. So, we're going to split the sentence right here. A dog jumps into a pool. Jumps is our action word. That's our action word. Jumps. We can do it. Our action part or predicate part now is this whole thing. So this is the action word. This is the predicate part. Today, though, we're going to focus on who or what jumps into that pool. So, boys and girls, who or what jumps into a pool? A dog. Good. A dog. This is our subject part. This is the whole subject part. A dog. Now, today we're going to have to find out what is just the subject. Not the whole part, just the subject. That one word that tells us what the subject part is, okay? Or the subject is. A dog is the subject part. But who is doing it? That can't do anything. That's describing the dog. So the dog is the subject. So when we say subject part, we want the whole thing. If they ask just for the subject, you're just going to circle or box or underline, whatever they ask you to do, just who or what does something, that one word. Maybe a title with that word if they have a title. Okay, so let's look at this next one. Jack walks to CVS. That's where I go sometimes. I can walk to CVS. Jack walks to CVS. Where do we split it to divide the subject part and the predicate part? Verb, walks. We can do that. Walk, walk, walk. We can do that. So we split it with our vertical line here. Walks to CVS. Our verb would be this. Walks. That's what we do. The predicate part would be this. What is our subject? Who walks to CVS? Jack. This is the whole subject part, but it is also the subject. Jack. That's it. That's what we circle. Let's look at the bottom one. The mouse crawls into a hole. Where are we going to divide that? Right, at the verb. Where's the verb? Crawls is the verb. So we're going to put our line right in front of the verb, our dividing line. So now we know the subject part is on this side and the predicate part is on this side, and this is the action word. Now we need to find out who crawls into the hole. Mouse. That is the subject. The mouse would be the subject part, but today we're going to practice just finding the subject. So finding that one word answer. Okay? So let's look at your paper, number 1, on page 283. Number 1, well, let's look at the directions first. This has many directions, so always, always read those direction diamonds. Circle a verb. That's one direction. Draw a line between the subject part and the predicate part. That's the second direction. Underline the subject. It didn't say subject part, just the subject. That's 3 directions that we have on this one. God gives us homes. Number 1, God gives us homes. Where's the action? Gives. We can act that out. We can give someone something. So we're going to circle the verb. First direction. Circle the verb. Gives. Now we're going to draw a line between the subject part and the predicate part. We know the verb marks the predicate part, so we put our line right in front of gives. Vertical line. Now what's the subject? Not subject part. One word subject. Who gives us homes? God. And we're going to underline that. Okay? Number 2. A bird builds a nest. First direction is circle a verb. A bird builds a nest. What can we act out in there? Build. Build, build, build. We can build a nest. Action. So we're going to circle the action word. Put a vertical line in between the subject part and predicate part. It's going to go before builds. That's where it starts the predicate part. Now we're going to underline the subject. Just the subject, not the subject part, just subject. So a bird builds the nest. Who builds the nest? Bird. So we would just underline bird. Okay? So think carefully on this. The next section you have to read the directions and fill in the blank. The next section you're going to use your house as the subject. My house is pink or something like that. My house is the tallest on the street, and you're going to use your house as the subject, so it has to be at the beginning. House. Okay? On the back, you're going to do the same thing, except on the bottom is a review of that tricky has and have helping verbs. Remember, our helping verbs are tricky. So they have a guide chart there to help you. Remember, came, went, and saw cannot be helped. They have to stand alone. Only come, gone, and seen can have those helping verbs, has and have. So think carefully, use that chart, look for your helpers.